Welcome and welcome back to my channel, guys. It is Pebbles Chat, and tonight I'm coming to you live from the Yabahanze village, specifically Villa Medellin. And tonight we have a lot to talk about. A lot. But before we get into it, let me just introduce you to the drink that I'm having tonight. I am having a glass of red. It is called the Bogle Family Vineyard 2020. It's an inexpensive bottle of red, and it's a Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's get into it, guys. Thank you for always coming back to support me. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It has come to my attention that Aaliyah has been banned and fired from Villa Medellin. Am I surprised? No, I am not. I just want to take a guess, and we should all pull together and do a bet on who do we think will be next to be kicked out of Villa Medellin. Some of you may not know who Aaliyah is, and if I'm not pronouncing his name correctly, it's okay. Sometimes I mispronounce words and people name. In American and British English sometimes just corner. You know what I mean? It's not vegetable. English is not vegetable. Aaliyah was a very important person in Marwa's life. He was one of his biggest foot soldiers and worker in the villa. Aaliyah began working for Marwa at Villa Medellin after top fainter
No, don't faint. Don't faint.
Mayugno YouTube channel blossomed, and he was adopted by several older women around the world, such as Germany, UK, France, Sweden, and the United States of America. In other words, he moved on to bigger and better things, activating donations, and is now the second wealthiest YouTuber in the Yabahanze village outside of Marwa's family. Remember that D. Mwango is extremely wealthy, and so is her younger brother. But Mayugno, outside of that family, is extremely wealthy now. In Mayugno's absence, Aaliyah was promoted to top mason at Villa Medellin by the king of the village, iammarwa. Earning the top mason position was no surprise because he worked for Marwa for 2 years as an expert, hardworking young man who took pride in his skills and craftsmanship. 5 months ago, Marwa introduced Aaliyah as his new prodigy and even mentioned that he wants to build another Mayugno. He talked about Aaliyah's temperament. He was described as calm and collected, easygoing, quiet, shy. He was just in a shell. He was allowed to record YouTube videos at Villa Medellin to showcase his skills, and while he worked tirelessly on the villa and perimeter walls. His channel began to grow, and so was his ego. And of course, the gifts began to pour in from the donors around the world, especially the United States of America, where his moms and grandmoms reside. Social Security donors. Aaliyah was no longer shy, and now he is best friends with Finding Ian. It appears that Dory was the one teaching Marlin how to swim in the YouTube space of donators, activators, and gifters. Just keep swimming, Marlin. Within 2 months, Aaliyah YouTube titles were no longer about his masonry craft. It was now about his donations received craft. Example: big surprise from USA. I almost cried. Where he showed his shiny new gift, an iPhone or a Samsung. I don't know what it was, but it was a shiny new gift from his princess. Aaliyah continued working hard at Villa Medellin and making videos with his brand new shiny gift. His channel gained a lot of traffic and views increased tenfold. More views equaled more money. With a full-time hard labor job, a full-time YouTube channel, Aaliyah began activating more and more donations by not showing up to work, calling out sick, or maybe he stayed home to edit his videos. Also, since Aaliyah was only working for, and I am not 100% sure on this, so I will say allegedly. Since Aaliyah was allegedly working for pocket change, 1,200 to 1,500 Kenyan shillings per day, which is equivalent to about 8 or 10 US dollars. That was nothing. So I am assuming this was one of the reasons why Aaliyah decides, hey, if I can make money on YouTube through donations, why should I show up to a hard labor job at iammarwa's place for pocket change? After all, he can make 2 times that amount on YouTube, and his overseas social security moms and grandmas can send him a monthly allowance. His boss, the king of the village, sent him a strict warning on a live YouTube video through the world that he was suspended for 2 weeks or longer. Aaliyah tried to correct his mistake by apologizing to his boss, I am Marwa, but his apology was not accepted even when he went to the villa to apologize in person. He was dismissed. But a few days later, this happens. Aaliyah got his big break from a big donor in the UK, a brand new shiny motorbike. Aaliyah was over the moon, and he jumped on his motorbike and he rode as fast as he could, to Villa Medellin because he wanted the first person to see his brand new shiny bike. I am Marwa.
Live streams one way, guys. Even me one day I will buy a motorbike. Thank you. So Aaliyah, yes, we had speed.
Marwa was ecstatic and inquisitive and wanted to know who in the world donated this big, shiny, expensive bike to Aaliyah. And it didn't go through him. So he wanted to know who this big donor is. And he wanted to personally thank this big donor who had nothing to do with him himself. So Marwa was around the bike taking pictures, and he thanked the donor, and and he looked at Aaliyah, and he said, "Let bygones be bygones. Let the reactors talk. The reactors were just talking." Do you see what donations can do? Donations talk the talk, honey. Anyway, let's continue. So Aaliyah was forgiven and rehired immediately as if nothing happened. All was well in the camp again. Freudian slip. Aaliyah was back on the job, but he was not the same. It was only a matter of time before he got kicked out of the camp again. 2 days ago, Aaliyah was dismissed by the king of Villa Medellin and the Yabahanza village for insubordination. He was disrespectful to the king's uncle. Is Aaliyah mad? How could Aaliyah be disrespectful to the boss family? But like I said, Aaliyah was on a high that he has never been on before, because Dory taught him how to swim and fend for himself. Of course, Dory is a true friend. So after Aaliyah was disrespectful to the uncle, the king decided to fire Aaliyah alive for the world to see, for the world to hear, and he was banned from the villa. It was clear as crystal because the king spoke about this on several of his lives. The king also asked his supporters to stop supporting Aaliyah and to unsubscribe from him. However, the king forgot one tiny little thing, that the donators are not his subscribers. The donators are Dory's subscribers and Marlin subscribers. The donators, especially the big donators, have nothing to do with the king of Villa Medellin. His biggest donor is not connected to the king. They made sure of that. So the king cannot cancel that donor. Aaliyah will still be able to collect money from that donor. Aaliyah has moved on. He outgrew the shout outs, the rice and beans, and the small salary. Will he return to Villa Medellin? What do you think? And beg for forgiveness? Or will he move on to bigger and better opportunities, activating donations? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. At this point, this is Aaliyah's only way back into Villa Medellin. If he can get someone to donate him a helicopter for the helipad, then he will be welcomed back with open arms by iammarwa to Villa Medellin. Get on it, Aaliyah. Start asking for those donations. Good luck. If Aaliyah was indeed disrespectful to Marwa's uncle, he should apologize. I don't know the other side of the story because Aaliyah has not come out and say anything. But again, if he was disrespectful, he should apologize. You can't be disrespectful to the boss's family member. You cannot do that. That is off limits. Marwa need to stop telling people to stop supporting his employees whenever they have a disagreement or whenever he fires them. You can't go on telling people to unsubscribe and take back things from them. You can't do that. It's wrong. If there's a discrepancy, that's between you and your employee, not between you, subscribers, and your employee. Let them make that decision on their own. Marwa need to stop telling the world what he did for his workers after a fallout. He does this all the time. Oh, I helped this guy. I gave him food. I gave him a bag of cement. I gave him this. I gave him that. He was poor. He had nothing. Someone who gives you something with a good heart doesn't go around talking about it. And if you can't give somebody something with a good heart, then don't give them anything. That's how I feel. Marwa should also stop his employees from making videos on the compound while they are on his clock. This is the issue right here. This is the issue. I can't go to my office and start editing videos on my phone. I will be fired immediately. You can't do that. You're on that person's time that you're being paid for. So I don't know. Maybe he wasn't being paid. That's a different story. If Marwa is having them work for shout outs and YouTube, they can do their YouTube on his compound, then that's a whole different story. But I think it's wrong. You hire people, you be professional. Then you should act like a professional boss. And, just take an authoritative approach. They are not your friends. You treat them as they are your employees. This does not mean that you are going to demean them and talk to them any kind of, in a derogatory way or anything. You just treat them like a boss would treat an employee. Act more businesslike. I knew you said you wanted to uplift this guy and, you wanted him to be another Mayugno, and that is exactly what he is doing. When he started getting, big donations from the outside, he wanted to leave, I guess. And I guess he started acting up, and that's how he got fired. Mayugno is kind of different. You were away when Mayugno left. So that's a different story. Who knew if Mayugno would have stayed until the end, But yeah, just act like a professional and treat your employees right, and you won't have this issue. If you can pay them better, pay them. Because the moment they start making, YouTube videos and the donations are coming in, their subs are up and they are monetized, then they will be making more money. What would be the point of coming to the villa to make $10 or $20 per day? Even if it's 20 US dollars, that's still not a lot. They can make so much more on YouTube. The lesson and pattern we can all see in this saga is that YouTube has its advantages and disadvantages. And you should have prepared for this because you are the one who introduced this to the village. It is well known that the biggest disadvantage of social media that it can negatively impact productivity. And even me myself, I've realized that many times I am hooked to my phone, checking to see who subscribed and, uploading videos and all of that. But I won't allow that to impact my day job. I can only do this on weekends. But if you allow your employees to film while they're at work and edit and upload videos, then they won't be productive. So this is on you, buddy. This is your fault. Within 2 months, four of your most valuable employees have been fired and banned. So I don't know what is going on at Villa Medellin, Marwa. I have seen how you spoke to some of your employees, and I don't think that is right. It seems also that they don't get a break. If someone just walk away for 5 minutes, you yell at them, and, from time to time, it's hard labor. Let the people get a break, a short break. I do understand that in a country where you have to be on top of things or people will slack off. But from what I have seen on your videos, I think you can treat your employees much better.
He's my boss, but he make me to come sad. I feel bad in my head. I feel bad. Especially, he don't want me to get a rest. If you work 7 days, you must take a 1 day to a rest, but he don't want someone to a rest. He say that he pretend like he pay people good, but it's not a good, guys. In Tanzania, people can pay 10,000 or 12,000. In Mas
You have poor management, toxic work environment, no work balance, and these employees are overworked and burned out. Strongman, African village cook Alex, Hello Baby, and now Aaliyah. I am not even counting Hello Baby because he wasn't one of your top foot soldier, but the other four were. And something has to be wrong for four valuable employees to be fired and banned from your villa. Do you think Marwa finds issues with his employees when they begin to excel and no longer rely solely on him? Or do you think Aaliyah dismissal was a result of Aaliyah's own behavioral changes and because of his newfound independence? Or was it because of Marwa's lack of moral compass towards his employees? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Thank you. Thank you for watching my channel. It's Pebbles Chat, and I'll be back on another time.